programme. The way we watch television is changing, isn't it? It's all box sets these days. And people who watch loads of box sets are like pushers. Just try this one. If you like it, come back and have another one. And then you're hooked, aren't you? If you keep on watching episodes while your partner's out, it's like having an affair. It didn't mean anything. It wasn't a very good episode. I like watching Air Hunters. That's H-E-I-R, not A Hunters. Found some. After someone's died, they're trying to find if they have any living relatives to give their belongings to. It's very sad. And quite depressing if you're watching it on your own. That's why I've got a cat. That way I'm never alone. And if I died, there'd be nobody to find anyway. Nom nom, mew. I'm not big on futuristic stuff, but I would love to see a drama set slightly in the future. Oh, they did build that car park. Razors have 6 blades. Amanda Holden is still 39. There's a sale still on at DFS. And we're all a little bit fatter. Tash in the Attic deserves some spin-offs, didn't it? Tom Selleck is the new lodger. Tash in the Attic. Do you want to see our new toilet? Slash in the Attic. I've been having rough sex with the new lodger. Rash in the Attic. Isn't just about entertainment. It can really help us too. Take medical programmes. I've learnt loads from them. For example, there's medical evidence that wearing bras doesn't stop you getting saggy boobs. It can make it worse because they get complacent. Like a lazy eye. You have to put a sticky plaster over one boob to make the other one work harder. Medical telly, but every time I hear someone say ears, nose and throat, I always want to say heads, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. On TV, when experts ask men to check their testicles, they always liken them to fruit, don't they? They should feel like small plums. I think that's fine as long as it's fruit we all recognise. What if a really posh doctor said they should be between a dragon fruit and a Sharon fruit? I've got nothing. I had a lady appointment recently and I said to the doctor, everything off? And she said, no, you can keep your top on. I told that to a male friend and he thought I meant like at the hairdressers, everything off. Just give us the mirror. No, that's lovely. No, it's lovely. No, I like it, I really like it. It's lovely. My boyfriend will be really pleased. Taken years off. About 30. They say these days that it's easiest to tell your kids about sex while in the car as you're driving and you don't have to look at them and vice versa. What about the people who don't have cars? Do they have to do it on the bus? My friend was taught that you stick the penis in the vagina, but not that you had to move it around a bit. So he thought it was just like putting bread in a toaster. And when it was done, it just popped out. Sometimes it was brown. But my favourite medical show, and I know it's yours too, is Embarrassing Bodies. And it's such a helpful show because a lot of people are nervous about going to the doctors. A male friend of mine won't go to the doctors in case he's asked how much he masturbates. And how often do you masturbate? How often is normal? How often do you think is normal? 21 units a week. That's drinking. 5 times a day? That's fruit. It's not like that for women. We can have it as often as we like broccoli, no points. If a man comes in with a hamster stuck up his arse, who does he go to? A doctor or a vet? I suppose it depends who's in the most distress. I think he's quite stressed because he's scratching a lot. How would you even get one in the first place? Let's not lure him in with sunflower seeds. If his cheeks get big, he'll never get the little bugger out. I love Embarrassing Bodies live from the clinic, where people Skype in with their ailments. It's like chat roulette with cocks. So it's like chat roulette. I love on the live shows when one of the doctors is talking to a patient via Skype and says, "OK, Brian, can we take a look?" And the bloke stands up, turns around and bends over. "OK, Brian, thanks." Brian. Brian? Brian, we've seen it, love. Sit down again, Brian. Brian. No, don't part them. I saw one episode where a really pretty young girl came up on the screen with the biggest knockers you've ever seen. You know, the size where even men would say, "Oh, they must hurt." And Dr. Kristian said, "So what is it we can help you with today?" It's obviously her tits. But you can't be too careful, can you? He could say, "So, Rachel, those knocks are massive, aren't they?" "Oh, I was just going to ask about the warts I've got on my hands." What happens if you want to be on but you haven't got a laptop? I think I'm going to the library to do this. Just in the background, there's a woman just putting books away. There was an episode where a lady's arse prolapsed into her vagina. Tonight is the night when to be found. But I think the best thing about Embarrassing Bodies is my favourite medic, Dr. Kristian. I love Dr. Kristian, and I've been reading his book about growing up, and I've learned a lot. Apparently you can get pregnant if you do star jumps after sex, but it'll probably stop you from getting sex again. What could be better than reading Dr. Kristian's book? That's right, a personal consultation with the man himself. Please welcome Dr. Kristian Jessen.
How are you?
Welcome to the show. Thanks very much for coming on.
Feels just like I'm at work again, Victoria. Do you need anything? Or just...
Well, I don't know if now's the right time.
Probably not.
How often do you masturbate?
About 21 units.
Good answer. Now, we're given quite a lot of health advice these days, aren't we? And it's hard to know which is true and which is rubbish. So I was going to run a few by you to see if you could tell us which ones are true and which ones are myths. Is that all right?
That sounds good. OK.
Does eating crusts make your hair curly?
My mum said so, but no, not true.
So all of our mums are liars?
All of our mums are.
Is it true that you feed a cold and feed a fever?
No, that's nonsense. It
don't...
doesn't make any difference. Just eat healthily is the message.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I just eat loads, whatever. So eat healthily?
Eat healthily.
Loads. Can I eat loads of healthy things like, you know, like biscuits with raisins in? And...
It's one of your 5 a day. It's fine by me. Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Shut up.
It is.
Is that one of your 5 a day?
A handful of raisins is one, so enough Garibaldis.
A packet of Garibaldis is one give you 5 a day.
I'm sure I'm now going to get a complaint letter for saying that, but...
Not from me, you won't.
No.
Now, you know the rule about eating food off the floor, the 2-day rule? If you top it and 2 days later you still fancy it, you can still eat it, you know?
Right.
Is that true?
Is that one that your mum told you?
No, I made it up.
Did you make that
I've heard that it's 2 days on the floor, but 3 seconds, you know, the 3-second rule, that's if it's on a condom. That's what I heard. Shut your faces.
Not from me, she didn't.
You keep your reputation in check there,
do.
love. Is it true you can't get pregnant off a toilet seat?
Depends who you're with.
What if the toilet seat was made of an erect penis?
As I said, depends who you're with, really, doesn't it?
So it's still possible, then?
If it was an erect... I can't say that word in front of you.
What do you call it?
Yeah, that, but it feels wrong now, here with you.
Why?
Because you're dressed all nice and...
I'm dressed all nice. I'm dressed all nice, but it all comes up and there's bits underneath.
Oh, that's fine. Erect penis, then.
Yeah,
Erect penis.
Say it loud and proud.
Erect penis.
Yeah.
Don't encourage me, come on.
You. Thank you for the myths.
That's a pleasure.
Tell me, have you... What's that noise? That's not someone's laugh. Is that someone's laugh? It sounded like somebody brought sooty and sweeping. Is that really your laugh?
Do you need a doctor, my love?
Yeah.
I think I better go and help. Shall I go?
I think she might have... Are you all right? Have you swallowed one of your dog's squeezy toys?
I think she laid an egg, actually.
Now, have you ever been flashed at? Because I'd be interested to see if you just looked at it, instead of being shocked, just went, oh, that looks, you know, you need to get that seen too. Have you ever been flashed at?
My mother's been flashed at. I haven't. My mother had the proper dirty Mac kind of, you know, the leery noise that apparently they do on Benny Hill shows. She's had that. She was walking home with 2 Tesco bags in her hands like this, so she couldn't really even have a little stroke or anything like that.
I don't know if that's what normally happens when people...
Oh, is it not?
Oh, my hands were full. I couldn't even feel it in a note. Well, that's good to know.
But I haven't, no.
You haven't, no, OK. Have you ever had any celebrity patients?
I have, but I couldn't possibly tell you who, as you well know, because...
Oh, OK. Well, what if you just, like, whispered it into me mic?
I can tell you this. I filmed a little sketch with David Walliams where, I don't know if you saw it, was the last Comic Relief, and he comes to see me in clinic with a little problem, and it's me going like this, and then the camera pulls away, and it's David from the back, stark bollock naked. And he really was when we filmed it. And you have to do a number of takes for things.
Of course, yes.
You know.
Did you keep, like, coughing it through your lines and stuff?
Yeah,
I'll have to do that one again.
And I was literally on my knees in front of David, pretend examining.
That'd be awful if you'd been filming that for Comic Relief and he'd been like, oh, let's make it funny, and you'd gone, actually, there's really something wrong with it. Stop filming.
I should have done that. That'd be funny. Next time.
Next time. Next time. I hope I'm not in that sketch. Legs in stirrups.
I don't know.
Your book says you're TV's favourite doctor.
Does it?
That's what it says on the front. Isn't that a little bit cocky when Doctor Who's still on?
I must have written that bit.
Yeah, possibly. Now, how were you told about sex? Did you find out from your parents, or how were you told?
I was given a book that I refused to read because I thought it was rude and embarrassing, so I didn't read it. So then I went away to school, and then my school friends told me about sex. Therefore, I still have absolutely no idea what goes on whatsoever.
I was told by my mum.
Yeah.
And I was nervous, so she made me stand behind a curtain. And then she said, what word are you most comfortable with for the men's bits?
Men's
so I
bits.
said dick. That is true. Now, I've read your whole book. It's very good. But there's nothing in it about sex being wrong.
No. Is this going back to mother again?
Do you not think it is?
No, I quite like sex, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't you?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I just want a bath and a book. Now, I love a hairy man.
Right.
How hairy can a man be before he's actually a monkey?
It's a fine line, isn't it? It's that Tom Selleck thing again. It's, should he be in a cage or should he be allowed to walk around? I don't know.
Should he be in a cage? I'd love a cage with Tom Selleck in it.
Yeah.
That would be lovely. That would be amazing.
Do you like hairy men, did you?
I do, yeah, I really
you
do. Yeah. Because it makes me feel... Oh, sorry.
Well, I shaved before I came on.
Well, I shaved as well, but I just did my toes.
They look good. The only bit that's showing anyway, it's fine.
Well, exactly, that's what I thought.
They're poking out there, aren't they?
I've got big toe shoes on, so I just did my big toe. Normally I have to do them all. If you're under 25, shut up, it'll come to you as well. Have you ever taken a picture of anybody's bits just because you like the colour? Do you know, well, that's no good on a cock, but it would look lovely in my hallway.
You could have a body-coloured house.
Oh. Imagine what colour the bathroom would be.
What colour would it be? What colour would yours be?
It would be like a coffee colour. Is that healthy?
Is that right?
I don't. You tell me. I don't know. Well,
should we move on?
Isn't coffee a good colour for you, Pooh?
Coffee's all right. Coffee's all right.
Right. Could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
Could have been pea green. I've had that in the past, but I wasn't very well.
No. Did you get antibiotics?
I think I just rode it out.
Did you?
I'm from the north, love. I don't do antibiotics.
I just wanted you to say antibiotics, don't I? Say it
See,
again.
I got you to say erect penis, and you want me to say antibiotics. Is there anything you've never seen, like anything you've heard of, or maybe studied about it, when you were training, but that you've never seen in the flesh?
There is a condition that fascinates me that I would love to see. You're going to love this. It's called diphalia. You have two penises, from the Greek, diphallus.
Wowzers.
You actually really have two penises. You have kind of one... No, mine's not this big. We'll use an arm as an example. You have one normal one, all right, and then underneath... You have a little one.
What, John?
That's made everyone feel inadequate, but yeah. You have one normal one, and then underneath you have one working little one.
It works, so the top one works and the bottom one works.
They both proper work. Amazing. I've never seen it. I've seen pictures.
Are they... I'm just going to ask the question.
Go on, then.
Are they wide enough to...
To do it?
Yeah.
With who?
At the same time.
Oh! Same place or different places?
I don't know. Depends. I don't know. You tell me. You're the doctor.
They're right next to each other, so they would both go in the same place quite happily.
And are they size-wise?
Yeah.
Do they make a good one?
One is fine. You'd be happy with one.
Oh,
the other one is a sort of added extra.
Oh,
yeah.
Like a tickler.
A little extra. Do you remember?
Actually, while I've got you here...
Yeah. Have we got a couch?
Can I show you something? I've got a photo. Is that all right? You must get this a lot, do you?
I do get it a lot, yeah, yeah.
OK,
Cab drivers, yeah.
Cab drivers?
Yeah, cab drivers.
How do they get it through the little pay bit?
Oh, you can.
And I'll show you this.
Yeah.
I put it like that. Let me pass you that.
Let's have a look.
So that's... I'm a bit worried about it, to be honest.
What have you been up to?
Well...
That's rash in the attic, you said before, isn't it?
It looks sore, doesn't it?
That's awful.
It's got little scabby bits there on
It's got like a sort of hairy, stubbly thing in it.
Yeah. Flick to the next picture, it might make it a bit clearer. Does it look like I've got a stuffed crust?
I'm still not eating it.
I didn't know that was an option.
No.
Now, you always talk about healthy eating, but do you ever get in from work and just chuck, like, an Auntie Bessie's frozen dinner in the oven?
Oh, Yorkshire pudding.
Yorkshire puddings.
I like a pasty and I like a Yorkshire pudding. Yeah,
You
I
like
do.
a pasty at the same time?
Oh, no.
That's like freezer surprise,
when
isn't
you're
it?
in a station.
There's nothing else in.
Like Euston, and there's always one of them pasty shops, isn't there? And they
Yes.
smell amazing, and every now and again, particularly if I've got a baseball cap on and no one knows it's me, I'll go and get a pasty. Because they judge you. When I go around the supermarket, they look in my trolley, see what I'm buying.
They do the
and
same.
they tut. They
They
go,
do the same with me if
Do
they say
they?
I've got fruit. They do. They just look disappointed, like I've let them all down. What's the most embarrassing bit of your body?
my bum.
Your bum. Why your bum?
It's quite big.
That's not a bad
Have
thing.
you seen my bum? Look.
Let's have a look.
Look.
That looks like a pretty good bum
That's
to
a
me.
big bum. Look.
And
You
why
can
don't-
rest bread rolls on my bum. It's quite large.
And do you?
Should we try it?
If only we'd know.
What's your most embarrassing bit? You didn't know I was
I've
going to
already
ask that,
told
did
you. No.
No.
I've already told you about me toes.
Yeah, that's not good enough. You need to do a better one than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Vagina. It's just too lovely.
Is it?
I don't really like underneath me boobs.
What goes on under there?
Sweat.
Oh, is
Now, you've been a doctor for a long time. How long have you been a doctor?
it 14 years?
14
something like that?
14 years.
13
In your professional opinion, and don't be afraid to use big words.
OK, all right.
When you've got an itchy bum,
Yeah.
how do you scratch it without anybody seeing?
Are you sitting or standing?
Either. I'm happy with either answer. I mean, the public are happy with either answer.
If you're sitting, I do the move onto one cheek. Try it now. Just go onto one cheek, yeah, and then just give it a little bit of a... You see, you can sort of do it, can't
Then
you?
people think you're doing a fart, don't they? If you do that face as well. And what about standing up? I should just back up to a tree.
Like a bear in the woods. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Do you spot people in the street, like a model scout?
Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you ever,
A disease scout.
Yeah, like, don't be alarmed, but I'm going to make that a star. Do us a favour, don't drain it over the weekend.
Well, you have this conundrum where, like, I'm on the tube and you see something and you think, oh, I wonder if they know about that. And then you think, should I tell them? Would you like that, or is that not right?
Depends. If you're doing it in a loud voice
Yeah.
on a packed tube or train.
Probably not, then.
No, but if you sort of went, oh yeah.
Is that not even more scary if someone...
No, with you, because you've got such a nice face. I think it'll be all right.
So would you be happy for a doctor to come up to you out of the blue and go, look, I've just spotted you've got this thing and I think it's this. Would you be happy with that or not? Yeah. Oh, unanimous.
All of everybody.
Right, I will.
So now everybody's all a bit nervous on the way out. It's going to be standing at the door going, you, this way. It's going to be like X Factor, isn't it? All the people in this room, you're going through to boot camp. All the people in this room, something wrong. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. You've been an absolute joy. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Kristian Jessen. Nice to know we all might get pulled aside on a train now. Everyone's talking about reality TV, but have you noticed that so many programmes are based on unreality? Everything is fantasy and sci-fi. It leaves me a bit cold, to be honest. I think my boyfriend watches too much of it because he sometimes refers to people as humans. I was on the bus and 3 humans got on. If sci-fi has taught me anything, it's that at some point all electrical devices will rise up and try to kill off the human race, so do be careful with that vibrator. But what a way to go, eh? Humans are completely sexually compatible with aliens. It's never, right, I've got a knob, what have you got? Oh, a mincer. It is much easier and quicker to learn how to use the controls of an alien spaceship than a hire car. Doctor Who never tries to fix something with his sonic screwdriver, only to stop and say, oh, shit, it's a Phillips. I can't get away with superheroes either. I'd be a rubbish one. I'm too chatty to be a superhero. I can't keep anything quiet. I'd be like, guess what, Twitter? I can fly, but kryptonite destroys me. My trouble with these things is that I add reality to it. Like being a vampire must be a pain in the arse, having to get blood all the time. My nearest Tesco Metro is a good 10 minutes away and it doesn't even have mangoes out of season. Like with zombies, how would you know when they don't just want to cuddle? Come here, you hollow-eyed beauty. Have you seen True Blood? It's a mature vampire drama, apparently. It's not only the necks they're sucking. In that show, the vampires live alongside humans and get blood substitute to live on. I can't believe it's not blood. Then there's the ultimate sci-fi show, Doctor Who. I saw on the news that they're actually going to bring back old police boxes. How confusing for kids who don't know that they're not TARDISes. Are they just going to end up like old phone boxes, though, smelling of piss, with prostitutes' business cards? I'm bigger on the inside, too. To take in when watching sci-fi and fantasy programmes. My boyfriend can remember all of the bizarre character names in the shows he watches, such as Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones. Yet whenever we go around to his friend's house, I have to go, his wife's name is Catherine. 4 years we've known them. I asked my boyfriend what it was about, and he said it's a story about a woman with 3 dragons. I thought, what, Hilary Devey? I now know that character's full name is Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, Queen of the Andals and the First Men, Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, Breaker of Chains, and Mother of Dragons, which is also known as Dany for short. Everyone in Game of Thrones has names like that. If I was a character in it, I'd be Sarah Millican, Mother of Kittens, Enjoyer of Long Baths, and Vanquisher of Biscuits. If Dany Targaryen is a queen and has 3 dragons, does that mean somewhere there's another queen called Kylie Targaryen who's loads better? The books have maps in the front. As far as I'm concerned, the only book I'll ever read that has a map in the front is an atlas. And I've got an audiobook version of that anyway, a sat-nav. Shows like Game of Thrones are called fantasy. My fantasy telly would be Philip Schofield, presenting the Great British Bake Off. Naked. And there's cats. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones, everyone's medieval and you never know if they're going to fight or have sex. Basically, it's Geordie Shore with capes. When I first heard of it, I thought it was a quiz show like Wheel of Fortune. Game of Thrones! I expected to see Bradley Walsh telling a contestant, you've landed on a penalty square. Do you want to commit incest with your sister or behead your dad? There's so much intrigue, you look at all of them and have no idea who was in charge. A bit like being in New Look. And don't get me started on dragons. There's a sentence I never expected to say. My fella said, did you know that a newborn dragon is only the size of our cat? No, I didn't know that, because they don't exist. There's only one way I'm going to understand the show, and that's to meet the people in it. So from Game of Thrones, please welcome Finn Jones, John Bradley and Kristian Nairn, also known as Sir Loris, Samwell and Hodor. You all look lovely. This is just day wear, is it?
Thanks, babe, yeah.
You look smashing. Now, I have watched Game of Thrones. I haven't watched all of it. but I've watched a good 5 or 6 episodes, and I've got one question for you.
Right.
What the fuck is going on? So can any of you sum it up like that, just like in a couple of sentences?
Oh, boobs. Lots of boobs.
Lots of boobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Death.
Boobs and death.
Taking it up a level,
Yeah,
I
go
think it's about mainly about dysfunctional family relationships. Just to counteract the boobs and death.
So boobs, death, and Jeremy Kyle. That's enough. Now tell me, who are the goodies and who are the baddies?
Oh, it's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the problem some people have. The baddies and the goodies aren't clearly defined.
Are you all goodies or baddies, do you know?
I think I'm a goodie.
I think you're a goodie.
Yeah, Hoda's a goodie.
Certainly a goodie.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we're all goodies.
So you don't know which ones are goodies or baddies, but you're determined to be goodies. So, Kristian, your character only ever says Hodo, so
Yes.
they've assumed that that's his name.
It's not really his name. His real name is Walder. It's a bit of a mystery why he is a bit brain damaged, but that's putting it mildly.
Okay.
He can only just say one word, which is great for learning lines.
That is. But you must have to put a lot of effort into that and a lot of emotion.
Tremendous
Like
amount
a
of
happy
Shakespearean
Hodo
effort.
or a sad Hodo.
Yeah, or all
or a
sorts of mixed
sexually
up.
frustrated Hodo.
That's 99%.
That's 99% of them.
yeah.
Boobs and death, that's what it's all about. So, Hodo is a giant.
Yes.
How did you get the part?
Well,
Oh, like that. What's that beside Wow. I feel so tiny and feminine. For the first time ever. So, Finn, you play the heartthrob.
One of, yes.
One of the heartthrobs, yeah. Do women throw their chastity belts at you?
I mean, sometimes. I mean, check out these armour abs.
That's really... Are you exactly the same underneath that?
Yeah. Definitely not. Definitely not.
I'm starting to like the sound of this. I think I'd like to be in Game of Thrones, and because it's my telly programme, I can do just that. Hold on a minute.
Our enemies gather strength, Samuel. We are but 3. They are but many.
It is true. Who will aid us now in our hour of darkness?
It is the beautiful, if not stockier than I remember, Mother of Dragons.
Carry on, pet. You'll not make it past series 4.
I am Solaris, Knight of the Flowers.
Oh, hello, Flower.
And I am Samuel Tarley of the Night's Watch.
Well, hang on, pet, because I'm only up to book 2. But I know who you are. You're Hagrid. Anyway, I am Sarah of the House of Caniston. Of the burning and the itching. Come to your aid with my mighty fire-breathing dragon. Dragon, breathe your fiery breath. Oh, shit, he's gone out again. Money on the wig, all right?
We are doomed, but we will not depart this realm without a fight. To arms! To arms!
We've all got 2 arms, pet, but what's your point?
This is my point.
Ooh.
My sword, Forehammer.
Ooh.
And this, my sword, Steel Tongue.
Oh. Well, while we're all doing it, these are my trusty blades. Kitchen Devils. We 3 shall prevail over our foes with the steel in our hearts. we shall triumph and ascend to the Iron Throne. This is so exciting! This is so exciting! I forgot I was holding them.
Hold on, never liked them anyway.
Oh, don't start talking, Flower. I liked you better the way you were. So, are you all in proportion?
Hold on.
Thanks so much for coming on the show, ladies and gentlemen, John, Finn and Kristian from Game of Thrones. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to talk about The Walking Dead, or as it's more commonly known, The Antiques Roadshow. We didn't talk about 24 hours in A&E, which is basically a normal waiting time. I couldn't talk about doctors. I haven't seen it. I can't get past the receptionist. The documentary, Will My Crash Diet Kill Me? Yes, love, have a bun. All those shows where they travel back to a time when it was okay to be sexist and racist, Life on Mars, Ashes to Ashes, Top Gear. Good night.
Next, a TV interviewer at his most persuasive, a fallen president at his most revealing in the film of Frost Nixon. Or head over to BBC 3 shortly for a bumper bundle of Family Guy.